Hi kids, do you want to learn how to create your own games like these? In this video, I am going to show you how to use Scratch, a programming language that is perfect for kids. With Scratch, you can create your own games, animations, and interactive stories. And by the end of this video, you will be able to create a new Scratch project, add a new sprite to your project, change the costume of your sprite, and write simple code to make your sprite move.
Now here is the riddle for the day. I am a room full of stories where there are no books. I am a place where memories are left behind. What am I?
Thanks, Mr. Professor. Do you know the answer to that riddle? If you know the answer, leave it as a comment in the comment section below and let's have fun. If you don't know the answer to that riddle, be sure to watch this video to the end because the answer will be revealed at the end of this video.
So now, let's get started with this tutorial. Let's start learning how to create our favorite games and apps.
We learn everything just with your smartphone or computer. Digital skills kids.
Now kids, for you to start using the Scratch programming language, you have to download the Scratch program. Now go to Google and search Scratch. Now click this. Now kids, this is the Scratch website, so scroll down to this place, to the resources section of the footer, and download. Now this is the place where you can download the Scratch program. Now scroll down. Here, if you're on Windows, here's the place to download the Scratch program. If you are on Mac OS, you can download the program right here. If you are on Android, click this button here and download it directly on the Google Play Store. So I am using the Windows operating system, so I will click right here and direct download. Now that I've downloaded the Scratch program, I have gone to my downloads folder and I will click here. So now this is what it brings up. Click only for me, the user. So click install and it will install the application on your computer. So we've done it, guys. So let's run the Scratch program.
Okay guys, welcome to the Scratch program. Now, the Scratch program is divided basically into 5 different sections. We have the code section, the costume section, the sound section. We also have this section where the program is developed, and we also have the sprite section. And any item like this one found in the sprite section is called a sprite. In the course of our tutorial, we'll advance from explaining the code section right to the sprite section, so you're going to get conversant with the Scratch program. Now, under the code section, there are blocks. These blocks are fundamental units of every Scratch program. They represent specific operations and commands that can be carried out by sprites. Blocks can be stacked together to create scripts, which are a sequence of blocks that defines what happens to a game. So moving over to the motion section, we'll start practicing. Now the motion blocks are blocks related to the movement and positioning of sprites, which is this object over here. Because as I said earlier, any object found on this section is called a sprite. Now, for instance, if we drag in this block code over here, I'll explain what this code means. Here the code says move 10 steps. So the code is trying to tell this sprite over here to move 10 steps. So if we click this, as you can see, the sprite moves 10 steps. If we adjust this to something like 50 and click it, it moves 50 steps. So this is how it works. It's related to the movement and positioning of sprites. So you can position it anywhere you like through this. So the next block on the motion section says turn. So let me explain what this means. It means that if we click this block, it turns 15 degrees. So let's try it. Click and it turns 15 degrees. As you can see, it's coming down. So let's bring this up a bit and click this turn, and as you can see, it's turning. Let me just position this in the center and click it, and it turns. And if you notice, it turns over again, which means it's moving 15 degrees at each click. So you can move ahead to check more of the blocks on the motion section. We'll be heading over to the looks section of the code aspect. Now, if I drag this into this block, I will explain what this means. It says, say hello for 2 seconds and go off. So let's click it. As we can see, the ball says hello for 2 seconds and goes off. Let's click it again, 2 seconds, and it's off. Let's drag this one in. As you notice, this one does not go off because it doesn't set a required amount of time to go off. But if we click this, it remains here because this particular block is still here. So if we remove this block and click this, it stays for 2 seconds and go off. You can go ahead and review other blocks in the look section. Now if we drag in this block, that's the sound section, is a block for playing sounds and music. You can also use it to adjust volume or control sound effects. So let's just play this and see what it does. Now, as it goes in hierarchy, it first of all moves 10 steps, turns 10 degrees, says hello, changes the size, and then plays the sound. You can also record directly. For example, let's just, hello, how are you? Stop record, and we can save this and move over to the code section, and we can click here and add our recording. So let's just see what it does.
Hello.
So you can see how our recording has played out, but let's change this back to normal 100 and click this again, and it has gotten back to normal. So this is all about the sound section. Let's move over to the event section.
Now, moving over to events. What are events? Events are triggers that initiate actions in your game or program. They allow you to specify when and how certain behaviors should occur.
Now, if you add this, what it definitely does is it tells this code when the green flag, that is, this green flag is clicked, it performs all these functions. So let's try clicking this, and it performs the functions. Sorry, put the sound, let's get sound, and let's try it. So this is what the event function or blocks does. It simply responds to various events. Now let's check other codes here. For example, this block tells the sprite when the space button on your keyboard is clicked, it performs all these functions. So let's click the space button. So as you saw, all the functions was performed in the click of a space bar. So this is just a brief overview on the events blocks. Let's move over to the controls.
Now heading to controls. Controls determine how and when certain blocks of code are executed based on conditions. In Scratch, there are basically two types of controls: loops and conditions.
Now let me explain what this means. For example, if we drag in this to this code, and now what it actually does is when the space bar, the space key is pressed, it waits for 1 second before all these other functions are performed. So let's see how it happens. So when it was pressed, it waited for 1 second, then performs all these functions. Let me increase this to like 20, and let's hit the space. So as you can see, it's taking much time before the function is performed. To stop that, let's just change it back to something like 3 seconds and press the space bar, and it goes. This is how this works. So let me remove this. And if I check this now, let's drag in all of this into this. Now what this actually does is it tells all these functions inside to repeat 10 times. So let's just see what it does. Let me change this in the events block. Now let's click it. As you can see, it's repeating 10 times, but I'll stop that. So this is what this actually does, but I'll remove this function and delete it. Now what this one does is that when this flag is clicked, all these functions to continue occurring forever. As you can see, it's called the forever function. So if you click it, forever and ever it will continue moving, turning, saying hello, changing size, playing sound, and adding this effect. So I'll just stop that. So if I remove this and bring it back. Now another example we would like to try with the forever function is to make this sprite bounce whenever it touches this edge. So first of all, you go to the motions tab and click move. And head over to the events tab and grab this function. Now this function tells the sprite when clicked it moves 10 steps continuously forever until it is stopped on this button. Now let's just try it. Now it keeps moving indefinitely. So let's bring back our sprite. So to make it bounce, if it touches this edge, we'll move over to the motions tab, scroll down, and you see if on edge, bounce. Drop it here and let's try. Now as you can see, if it touches any edge, it bounces.
Now these are some of the basic things you need to know about the Scratch programming language. All you need to do is just to practice and explore. In the next video, we are going to create an amazing thing with Scratch, and that will be a car game. Did you remember the riddle we left at the beginning of this video? The answer to that riddle is your family photo album. Yes, your family photo album is a place where memories are left behind. Did you get the answer? If you got the answer, say yes in the comments below. If you didn't get the answer, a big thumbs up to you for trying your best. So if you're mommy or daddy, I'd like you to follow our page so that you'll be able to share this video with your kids, so that they will be able to learn how to create their own games and many other fun topics we'll be discussing on digital skills for kids. Also hit the share button so that more kids and parents can see this video and benefit from it. So thanks for watching this video to the end. Stay safe and continue learning digital skills as a kid.